next guest was on top of the world earlier this year when the movie he produced won the Oscar for Best Picture. He's in town being honored by the Twin Cities Film Festival. But first, here's a clip from that Oscar winner, Green Book.
But let me be crystal clear. I'm not just hiring a chauffeur. I need someone who can handle my itinerary, be a personal assistant. I need a valet. I need someone who can launder my clothes and shine my shoes. Good luck, Doc. Tony. I had my record label ask around town to find me the right man. Your name came up more than once. You've impressed several people with your innate ability to handle trouble.
That is a clip from Green Book, again, this year's Oscar winner for Best Picture. It was produced by a local guy. We love the fact that he's from here. Give it up for Edina native and U of M grad, Jim Burke, and executive director of the Twin Cities Film Festival, my buddy Jayton Satia. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Jason. First of all, in person, I congratulated on the show when you weren't obviously here, but congratulations 9 months ago or however long it was.
Thank you.
I want to start there because obviously us here in the audience, we will probably never be sitting in the Academy Award audience area or on stage. When they say, well, I mean, are y'all going to make a movie this year? I'm just saying. But take me to that moment, you know, the envelope is read and you hear your movie's title. What immediately goes through your mind?
Yeah, so this is an unsatisfying answer, but from the moment Julia Roberts said Green Book to the moment I was backstage, I have no memory. Oh. Yeah. And people say, well, didn't you watch it on YouTube or something like that? And I say no, because it's actually become fun for me to hear what other people, their experience of it. And my brother's mother-in-law always says, if you don't like a picture of yourself, wait 5 years. So I'm going
to It's going to be like a bottle of red wine.
Yeah,
just
I
to
looked pretty good back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this is my buddy Jayton, and one of the best around. Why are you sitting here? Tell the folks why you're here. What are you doing for this guy here?
Well, Green Book at our festival opened our festival last year, and it won our best picture for our festival at least. And then I was in Hawaii when I was watching the telecast, and I was on vacation with my family, and I screamed and everybody was like, what is going on? And I'm like, Green Book just won Best Picture. And they were like, yay, can we go to sleep? And I'm like, yes. But then I immediately thought about what's the best way to, again, Jim was here last year. He was so gracious. He was just so humble. And I wanted to just say thank you to him for allowing us to premiere that film. So we reached out to him and said, hey, would you mind? I know it's kind of awkward, but like, can I give you an honor? And apparently the word didn't circulate to him. He said yes, of course. So we're honoring him tomorrow at our annual gala.
Yes.
And something happened in Lost in Translation. I'd mentioned to people that he was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, but he didn't know about it until yesterday.
What?
So it's been an interesting journey.
I was being honored. I was being honored, right? And I thought that was wonderful and sweet, but I did not know the honor was the Lifetime Achievement, which...
He's not done making movies, you guys.
He's
not done making movies.
You get the Lifetime Achievement, well, you're done, Jim. You're done. Yeah.
Oscar, Lifetime Achievement, what else you got?
Yeah. So I'm just getting used to it, and I'm cool with it. I'm honored. I'm very honored because I love the Twin Cities Film Festival. I love film festivals in general, but to have a great one in my own hometown, the Twin Cities, that features such fine pictures. And as a filmmaker, in the kind of pictures that I make, we need film festivals to show our movies, to build word of mouth out, because, you know, I love The Rock, but I made one movie with The Rock, but I probably won't make another one, even though, and we make movies that are a little bit more delicate and not the recipient of huge advertising campaigns.
And you said it perfectly. The great thing about the work that Jayton does and the team in these film festivals, for folks in the audience, that, you know, we're inundated with commercials for movies that star The Rock, and there's nothing wrong with it, and Star Wars. but these festivals shine a light on movies that we probably want to see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And they don't have the ad budget.
That's right.
To blister
Blow
it blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
I mentioned you're from Edina. You went to the U. I'm always interested in people's dreams and when the dreams come to fruition. Is filmmaking something you always wanted to do, Jim, or was it a late in life thing, or what happened?
No. I as soon as I graduated from the U, I got in a Pinto station wagon and drove to Los Angeles to get into show business. I didn't even know what it meant, but quickly my family was on Family Feud my senior year in college, and I was like,
Love that.
This is how it all works. These are I mean, I saw people like you doing jobs. I go, these are jobs? This is amazing. So I made a sort of on-the-spot decision that I wanted to be in showbiz. I didn't know anybody in LA. I drove out there, and I began to figure it out. And my edges were that I didn't know it would be hard, and I didn't have anybody telling me I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So, I love that.
Yeah. So I just did it, and I began to discover myself and my own taste in film and things like that, and I tried to remain true to that.
And now you're getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. They're going to stick, Jim and Jane will stick around. More when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. More with Oscar-winning producer and Minnesota native Jim Burke. Jim is being honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Twin Cities Film Festival. Jim has worked with some of the biggest names in the business, so we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But you are also working, speaking of Minnesota, with Bill Pohlad, Dreamin' Wild. Tell the folks about that.
Dreamin' Wild's an article I read in the New York Times probably 2 or 3 years ago about two farm boys who in the late 70s recorded an album. And they didn't know what to do with it afterwards, and it sat in their basement and sold it to a few local record stores. And then they went on with their lives. One of the brothers became a musician in Spokane, writing jingles and creating his own music. The other one went back to farming. The brother that always had the dream of being a big rock star and never gave it up, saw that flame being extinguished until one day his phone rings and somebody bought the record in a junk store and said, "This is brilliant, and I'm going to send it to record labels." And he did, and it became sort of an underground hit just 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of the songs was in Big Little Lies. Jimmy Fallon said it was his favorite record of the year. And so this is essentially a story of people who had a dream. It seemed to go away, and now it's back.
It's back. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. As I mentioned, Jim's worked with some of the biggest names in the business. So we like to do this when we have special guests like Jim here. We call it First Impression. We're going to show Jim a picture of someone he's worked with, and just the first thing that comes to your mind. Let's start with one of the best, Mr. George Clooney. When you see George, what do you think of?
Just a friend. He's like one of us.
Yeah.
He's a great, great guy, and I'm not just saying that. He just, he's a good egg. But I would not want to trade places with George.
Why?
Yeah. He's a prisoner. Everybody knows him, loves him. He seems so friendly and accessible, and he is. But you can't go from. You could never go to the Mall America.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Jim worked with, and The Descendants. You mentioned Big Little Lies, Reese Witherspoon. You were a co-producer on Election.
Right.
Love that movie so much. Oh, my goodness. What about Reese? Please say she's a good egg, too.
She's a really good egg. She's a good egg. We live, sort of in the same neighborhood. And the Reese that I knew way back then was a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And now she's a mother and
a producer herself.
And she has really done a great job in, the tricky part, you have to be talented as an artist and everything like that, but you also have to manage your own career.
Yeah.
That's tricky.
I think this is like the good egg club. Jim's worked with only good eggs. Matt Damon, another good egg?
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Downsizing is the movie.
Yeah. George Clooney tells a funny story about Matt, which is He is the opposite of bulimic or anorexic. He thinks he looks great when he's fat. Yeah. So he's always taking his shirt off. And
I can hear George telling that story,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You mentioned The Rock right
Yeah.
there, Rock. Another good egg, I would imagine.
Well, you hit on all the good ones. He was just The Rock, when I made Walking Tall, was his second movie. And he had an acting coach with him the entire time. And he just wanted me to know and everybody to know, like, I'm committed to this. I'm not just a celebrity. I want to be a good actor, too.
And you know what he seems to, Jim, and maybe you can confirm this, he seems like someone that's grateful for his career
Very
and
much
grateful
so.
for the life that he has. I
Very
get
much
that
so.
vibe from him.
Yeah.
Finally, Mahershala Ali. To say I'm a fan is an understatement. Another good egg in the Good Egg Club.
Great guy. Another committed guy. He's a man of faith, deep faith, and a family man. He's just a wonderful guy. He has been so kind of good to me and to my wife, and he's a friend.
Yeah, good guy. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank
Jim
you.
Burke,
Thank
everybody.
you.
The Twin Cities Film Festival will honor Jim tomorrow night at their fall preview gala. For more information, go to TwinCitiesFilmFest.org. And again, you heard Jayden speak. You know, we are very blessed to live in the Twin Cities. Jim knows this. We are a town. We are cities that love culture. We love film. Support the film festival. We have a gym right here in Minnesota that y'all should go to. So support the Twin Cities Film Festival.